What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Icer Closer channel. Welcome to the new year. As I said in the previous video, am very excited for what we have going in the channel. This is probably going to be one of my most vulnerable videos to this point. It contains a lot of footage from the past 2 years of me riding that no one has really seen before, or very few people have, but I figured it's time to show it because one of the biggest goals for the channel is to keep all riders who see this, all prospective riders, even if you just drive a car, to keep everybody safe and give you the techniques to stay safe. I am, of course, not a professional teacher by this, so this is from an entertainment perspective where you can just kind of see my riding and see what I've been through, and I pray that everyone is wise. They're a wise rider, meaning that you can learn from anybody's mistakes and you don't have to repeat them yourself. Smart riders can learn from their own mistakes, and people who don't learn at all tend to not be around long. If we're wise riders, if we're wise people in general, we can just learn from other people and not have to go through those same mistakes. So upcoming is one of probably my most dangerous mistakes that I made, but it wasn't really because of how I was riding on the bike at the time. It was because of all the habits I built up on my own bike. Here I was actually using a bike that wasn't mine to do a review, but I built up a bad habit with my bike that has ABS of, boom, pressing too hard on the rear brake. And that's what happened in that video. I dragged the back tire because I had built a habit of kind of pushing down hard with my foot on the rear brake instead of evenly distributing pressure with the front and rear brake, which is how you're properly supposed to do it. In fact, especially in corners, you don't even really use the rear brake that much unless you're doing a little bit of trail braking, but that's a whole different topic. And when we have our riding aids and riding assist, they are meant to help us stay safe, but the negative of them is that we may not know our bad habits if we're not paying attention. And when we get on something else, you know, it only really takes one big mistake. And by God's grace, I was able to save that. I wasn't going too fast to the point where I was not able to get back in control of the bike. Learn from me. Make sure you guys slowly apply the rear and the front brake together. Don't put too much pressure on that rear brake, because that will mess up that back tire and get you going sideways and flipping, and that's not what we want. Moving forward, another thing that I noticed I had issues with when I first started riding was being impatient and skipping out on maintenance. And as you see, my friend right here, he's pushing his bike. He had the same issue that I had. We were both extremely excited to get on our bikes, and our bikes had electrical issues. They had stator issues, and we needed to take care of those stator issues, but we wanted to ride. And this is what happens when you don't take care of a stator issue. You won't be able to ride, because essentially what happens is your bike's not able to charge while you're riding, and the battery can die. When it is time for you to do maintenance, it's easy to go get some of the cheap parts, the $150 parts instead of the $400 parts. I suggest you do at least an hour or two of research. Go look at forums, go look at Reddit. All of these things are free, and go look at things that are highly rated or highly liked, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to actually do a proper maintenance on your bike. Also, cheap mechanics are not necessarily good mechanics, so be careful if the only thing someone says about how good a mechanic is how good his prices are or her prices are. Make sure you, if you're not going to do the maintenance yourself, you go to a very good mechanic, because I promise you, they'll pay me now or pay me later. Another weird kind of mistake I had, it wasn't necessarily my fault, but it is something that we can learn from. I did just post a video on this. I was pumping gas and the gas tank got stuck. Not the gas tank, the gas lever got stuck, and it was malfunctioning, so I was not able to stop it from automatically spewing out gas. This is something we can think about ahead of time. This is why you want to have your kickstand down when you fill up gas. It will help you control that part, so if the pump does malfunction, and let's say your gloved hand is not able to get it loose, you can actually move the gas away from your motorcycle. You won't have to worry about falling, because what happened in this situation, I moved the gas away from my motorcycle, but I slipped and fell because it wasn't on its kickstand. Easy, simple fix. And then also realizing it it's probably a good idea, even if it is cold outside, to take your glove off if you're going to be pumping gas, because you never know what can happen, and it's a lot easier to get those levers, those automatic levers, unstuck if you have your normal fingers as opposed to gloves on. The final two mistakes that I have for you all kind of go hand in hand. They both come with improper preparation, oftentimes at night. One thing you will realize when you're riding a motorcycle is that the temperature can change. It can be 70 degrees in 1 hour, and 3 hours later it'll be 40, 50 degrees. But the wind chill of a motorcycle is at least subtract 20 degrees from that. So if it's 50 degrees, you're gonna be feeling 30. And I think we would all agree you don't wanna be wearing just a light jacket in 30 degrees for an extended amount of time. That is not what we want. So it's important for us to plan our trip ahead when we are riding our motorcycles, especially when it comes to our gear, because even if you want to tough it out over an hour and a half, and it's dark outside and you're the only vehicle on the road, forget motorcycle, vehicle on the road, stopping at gas stations once every 30 minutes just to get enough heat and enough blood flowing through your hands to grab the brake, is you just don't want to be in that situation. Make sure you prepare ahead of time and consider what gear you would need. Even if it does require taking a little bit more backpack luggage, it'll be worth it. Also, going with being unprepared, when it is late at night, we don't want to be flying through the back roads. That's the easiest way, one of the easiest ways you can lose your life doing this, flying through back roads late at night, from deer, black ice, just not paying attention, stuff looking wet when it's not, stuff looking dry when it's wet. One issue I had is I was tired on one of those cold nights and I was just trying to get home, and sometimes that reflex to just try to get home makes you want to go faster and faster, and I took a shortcut, and that tends to be when most motorcycle stories go south. I took a shortcut, and man, I went to take a sharp turn on this road that I thought I was comfortable with, but I never rode it at night, and I ended up almost being into a wall of just dirt and leaves, and it wouldn't have been good at all. But by God's grace, I was able to breathe and turn, and I had already practiced trail braking, so that's why we want to practice some of the more advanced maneuvers also, because you never know when you need it. And I was able to use trail braking and slow down into that corner, and learning lesson, never ran into that scenario again. When it's cold outside or when it's dark, you're not going to see me in the back roads at all unless it's absolutely necessary. And if I am in the back roads, I'm going to creep through. Another important thing is if you're on the back roads and it's late at night and you have a drunk driver, it's not like a highway where you got 3 lanes to maneuver away from them. If you're going one way and they're going the other way and they're on your side, that puts you in a very rough predicament. So ideally, stay away from back roads and try to stay off that bike if you're tired or if you're too cold. I love y'all. I pray this video is extremely helpful, and let's stay safe as we prepare for the 2023 riding season. Peace.